Right on.
Tom, you want to lead us in the pledge? Call this meeting to order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. We got quite the agenda here. We'll get through this quick and painlessly as possible. First on the agenda, 8:45, we got the bid installation for the LED light fixtures in county shops and garage. Please tell me we have more than one. Yeah, good deal.
We have two.
3.
Okay, advertisement for bids, installation of LED light fixtures in county shop/garage buildings. Sealed bids will be received in the chambers of the Brown County Board of Commissioners, Courthouse Annex, Aberdeen, South Dakota, until the hour of 8:45 a.m. Tuesday, June 28, 2016. At said time and place, all bids will be publicly opened, read, and considered for the installation of LED light fixtures in county shop/garage buildings. The work consists of removing existing fixtures and installation of approximately 48 LED light fixtures, which will be furnished by the county in the following buildings: Impound Garage, Weed Shop/Garage, Millam Office Building Garage, and Training Resource Building. No deposit or bid bond will be required. Brown County will give notice to the successful bidder that his proposal has been accepted, and said bidder shall, within 10 days thereafter, enter into a contract with Brown County. Okay, and the actual rate was 45. 45? Okay. I think it was approximately, right?
Yeah, approximately, yeah. And I got 45 marked on the spec sheet.
Yeah.
So we're in good shape.
Who's this one from?
This is from Swanson Electric.
$8,511. This one is from Ladner. $9,280.
That or just one of the other ones, didn't he?
Yes, yeah.
He had the bid on the other one.
Two of the last three, I think.
And this is for Layholt Electric. $6,825.
Judy, would you like the chance to look through them, or are you pretty confident everything's included? Is it?
They all have looked at with me, the buildings with me, and so
So 5 of them will go now.
I'm okay to go.
Okay. Good bids, and I assume you would recommend the lowest.
Yes.
I would move Lightholt.
I'll second it.
Moved by Fishback, seconded by Sutton. Any discussion on those bids or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. So go with that low bid.
Thanks, Judy.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Max.
Yep.
All right, you're gonna, do you want copies of them?
Yeah.
I can make them eventually, unless you
Yeah,
want them now.
Oh, I can go make copies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay.
All right, we're just a minute shy of our next item here, so maybe you want to take care of minutes or something on your list?
Sure. Okay, minutes from June 21 general.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Feldheim, seconded by Fishback. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claims and payroll.
Move.
Moved by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Feldheim. Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Employee step increases.
Move.
Moved by Fishback,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. I think that brings us up close enough to our 850. We got the ordinance 101, Title 20, the use and operation of drones, first reading. Have you had much input on this?
None.
Okay. Anyone here to speak on this? Do we need to read through it or do anything, or just?
Been a lot to read. I think it's been published twice, and
I'll make a motion to approve first reading.
All right. Motion by Sutton. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
seconded by Fishback. Any discussions on the road ordinance?
Scott, you got an opinion on it?
We helped do the majority of the writing, so, I did talk to a couple of the so-called drone experts in the area, and there was a little bit of concern about, the county following along with the city ordinance on restricting over, other people's property. And we chose not to go down that path because of our agricultural community and stuff like that. They were pretty much okay with that. The biggest concern was county property and the fair, and those are listed in there. So, working with Larry's office and the sheriff's office and stuff like that, I think everybody's on board. Derek and stuff from the fair and Kurt at the fairgrounds and stuff like that are all on board with it. So.
Make it too restrictive, it defeats the purpose of what they're being used for out the road.
Exactly, and we didn't want to do that. I think we got some language in there that, if somebody is using it foolishly, that, there can be some repercussion. People out there just enjoying it and stuff, and catch me if I'm wrong, Larry, but, people out there just doing enjoyment things and taking pictures and whatever else, for whatever purpose, or again, an agricultural producer, looking at crops, I think we're okay with that. So.
Until there's a problem, then we can always
Exactly.
change it, I guess.
The FCC just changed some laws on that probably after we've written our ordinance up. Is there anything that affected that?
No. Actually, the way I read theirs, it kind of opened theirs up a little
they
bit.
did.
So,
This one uses a lot of the same definitions as C, but it's a lot more flexible as far as use by agricultural and everybody else.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Was there any other discussion or questions on that first reading? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Do you want to take care of a couple more, Maxine, or should?
Notice of award for the County Road 16 project with Foothills. It was opened and awarded last week.
Moved by Feldheim.
Second.
Seconded by Fishback. Any discussion on that?
If you wanted to do that.
That's fine.
Well, you got the second.
Yeah. And I believe it was, what, 2.4? What was the?
2.4 and change.
I got it right here. I had it right here.
2.462 is what it was. So, any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thinking I had more information in the packet on that 9 o'clock joint. Was there just that single sheet?
Yeah, I thought I saw
I
something.
thought there was more than just
There
one
is.
sheet, I thought it was.
Let's look here.
This is the resolution today. I had an old map and a new map.
Max, you gave me your map now.
Here it is.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay, so then you'll have everything you're talking about. This would be the new one on top. And you saw the old map and the new map,
Yes.
and I do have them on now.
All right, 8:55 on the agenda, we've got plats. Is Scott Bader here? Is he going to talk about some of the plat?
I can go get him.
That'd be great.
Saw him earlier.
How are you, Card?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. Have a chair, relax.
I feel like I've been sitting forever. That's okay. I need to stand.
This says a public hearing will be held 26th of July.
I think this is just first reading of those
This
plats,
is
isn't it?
28th though, isn't it?
June, right down here, way the bottom.
He was
Okay. But up here it says public hearing will be held 26th day of July. Oh, July. I get you. I'm a month ahead of myself.
I think we're just setting the hearing
Yeah,
date
yeah, okay.
today.
Good morning, Scott. How are you?
Good morning. My turn.
Yes. Turn for the hot seat. So we're considering some plats here, huh?
Yep. The first one is a rezone, and that's just an extension of a previous plat from the first month, or a month ago.
Is that Behringer? Which one?
That's the Peaceful Pines, and that was a Brian Glanville, and he's the gentleman that was shaving that road at Richmond Lake.
Oh,
That's this development. They were still zoned ag, so stipulation through the planning commission approved the plat with the stipulation to rezone to lakefront property. That's what the rezone was.
okay.
And Pelkoffer plats. Danny Pelkoffer is platting off some other lots to sell to people that currently lease it. What else do we have for plats?
You got
Several of
Behringer,
them.
Thorough, Pelkover, Nelson.
Okay,
Well,
Thorough is conservation easement,
there's your packet there.
3 of them.
Oh, I'm sorry, Behringer was a 3 miles, so that came from the city.
Yep.
If anybody wants to see them, yeah, they.
I glanced at them already, so I'm good.
And these are the 3 thorough.
I want to see the thorough one.
The 3 with Dwayne Thorough conservation easements, they were drawn up in April of 2014, and they just brought them forward now to be submitted. And they're all along the Jim River area.
With the Behringer one that Doug has, one of the things that we just brought up in the joint meeting is out west there, we've had a few concerns with some of the drainage. And they said they were working on a plan there west of 281 as far as how he's going to drain that area. Because if you look on the east, they've got that big storage,
Holding pond.
the holding pond, and there's folks downriver, that are kind of concerned where that goes next. So I just think it's important we work with the city and kind of get some heads up on how that's going to flow.
I don't know if you guys seen that or not. That's a preliminary layout for the Behringer one. And they'll end up having a holding pond down south end, southeast corner, city requirements.
Okay, this is just the other side of the flat overhead there,
Yep.
right? Right.
Yep.
These are his plats here, or is it over here?
This is all preliminary, and nothing's been platted. This is just kind of a preliminary design.
And homes and apartments?
Yep. And the one lot up to the north, they've subdivided that.
It's the area where they hauled all that dirt in, that big area there, and then that's what he's gonna plat into that area where the big part, that'll reopen the plats in.
That'll be probably
That's
2
probably
lots
right.
out of the
Yeah.
5 or so.
Yeah.
And then his intent is for the drainage to go to the southeast corner.
Right.
I think is pretty simple.
So the big holding pond in the Rolling Hills part, is that city, or is that the development doing that?
That would be city, the new holding pond.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty big one.
Yeah, that would be city. They said that's for the runoff of 8th Avenue.
See, they got that road half for going by
Yeah.
Ramcona.
Making good progress on that.
Pretty quick. The next plat was the Greg Nelson addition, and that's down by Warner. That was just a family plat, subdividing to buy off his property from the trust or the estate.
Oh, okay.
It's
Just a building spot?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
He's been living there for
Oh, yeah, years and years, yeah.
20-some
Yeah,
years.
his dad and his brother both died here in the last few months.
Okay. So on the plats, then the last one was LaRue. If you guys wanted to take a peek at those, we're going to go ahead and get Marshall County on the line here. We've got a 9 o'clock joint with them,
Okay.
and then we'll finish up Scott's right afterwards, if that's okay, Scott? Yep. Because I think you had a couple other things, right? So-
Just the one thing.
Just the LaRue.
Okay,
And then the Hoffman rezone. The other one is a joint city one.
okay,
Cutler.
gotcha. Did anybody have any other questions on the plats?
I didn't. I looked them over and they seemed pretty straightforward to me.
Okay. For motion to approve?
I would move the first reading of those.
Okay, motion by Sutton,
Whatever we're doing here.
Just approving the plats.
Okay.
seconded by Fishback. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, do you want me to do the phone or?
Okay, I've got the number here. If you dial it first.
They all 8 to get out?
Yes, 8 to get out.
These.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you,
1-605-448-2401.
Scott.
Auditor's office, this is Megan.
Hi, Megan. Go ahead, Rachel.
This is Brown County calling in for our joint.
Okay, just 1 second, I'll put you on speakerphone.
Okay.
Carter's here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. We're already in our current meeting, so I don't know if you need to, are you guys at a point that you're good to go? I mean, on your agenda?
Yep.
Okay. We need to look at mending those boundaries for the fire district, so I'll let you guys go ahead and start things off.
Let me just clarify. This is Kari Bartling, and what we have is a situation where we didn't include Weston Township fully, and that is part of the coverage area of the current Claremont Fire Department. And so what we're doing is we're amending those boundaries. It was just a typographical error. All of the notices published in the paper have the correct legal with all of Weston Township included. So this is just basically to make your order match up with what the coverage area is. And you have that authority under SDCL 34-31A-8.
So we just need them to make a motion to...
To amend the order establishing Claremont Area Fire Protection District that was signed on May 31st, 2016, to include the legal description for Weston Township so that all of Weston Township is included.
That was...
Motion by Simmons, second. Second by Devine. All in favor? Motion carries.
Okay, and we will do the same. I'd entertain a motion to amend the order establishing the Claremont Area Fire Protection District in order to include all of Weston Township. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Feldheim, seconded by Sutton. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, guys. We'll catch you down the road.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Kari.
All right, that brings us up to 9:05. Next on the agenda, we have Steve Wicks, a clubhouse lease discussion. Is Steve with us this morning?
I think it's Wick.
Wick. Good morning.
Hi.
Steve?
Yeah,
Come on in.
it's my wife Janet and daughter Allison.
Hi, guys. Come on in and have a seat.
Okay.
We are here to discuss a lease issue. What do you
Yes.
got going on?
Well, did you get a copy of the letter that I sent
Yeah, Bill saw it.
yesterday?
Yes.
And, yeah, we had the clubhouse rented for an event, August 27th, wedding reception. And Allison's fiance found out from
From his.
his aunt last week that there was a race scheduled for that night. So that will not work for a wedding event. So we kind of scrambled. Kurt kind of showed a couple of other possible options for sites, but they just aren't going to work really with what we want to do. So I guess we're asking for, we did find an alternate site. There's going to be quite a bit more expense incurred. One of my concerns was what would have happened if we wouldn't have found out about this, or somebody would have looked at the race schedule and we would have come that week and there's races.
Sure.
So we're real concerned about how that worked, and we're wondering what kind of agreement I guess we can come to on our alternate site. So.
Sure. Well, it sounds like, did Kurt try to make some accommodations? I mean, it sounded like he felt pretty bad, and
oh yeah,
he felt
he did feel bad.
It was just an
did
oversight.
he handle it professionally? I mean, did he?
Yeah, he did handle it.
He showed you some other sites that Brown County had to offer? And
yep, he showed us the expo building and then out at Richmond Youth Camp. But we're having an outdoor ceremony at Tacoma. So it was kind of one of those things where, we didn't want to have two outdoor locations. And then we looked into renting a tent, and that was going to be over $8,000.
Gotcha.
So we ended up going with the Shrine. They do have the date open. They have a pancake feed at 8 the next morning, so we did have to hire a cleaning crew to make sure everything was good and ready to go. And we did have Anchors Away hired as our bar, and we were really excited to work with them. They were going to provide us a shuttle and 3 or 4 bartenders, and now we will be doing that through the Shrine. So we
with the same Anchors Away still going to go there?
No,
or?
No, they won't.
They can't.
The Shrine takes care of their own?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so we lost our shuttle service, so we're trying to kind of scramble to figure out what to do there. So it's been kind of a rough week.
Sure.
And we did actually, my fiance Brady contacted I can't think of his name, but the manager of the Speedway, and he wasn't aware of our wedding reception either. So neither the fair or the Speedway communicated those events.
Sure.
And I guess our contract that we have stated the 14th of July says we're entitled to a peaceable and quiet event. So.
And you have a signed contract?
Kurt has a signed copy.
The original's here.
Okay. Yeah,
it's item 11 is the one that discusses.
This is the alcohol. We kept calling. We called January 25th. And we couldn't get an answer on the alcohol, so it's we can't present it to the commission until we have all of the documentation. The alcohol, either permission if you're going to serve it yourself, a license application from the person going to serve the alcohol, and then the insurance. And we didn't have any of that, so it's never been presented to the commission.
And I don't think you would have had that yet because the Anchors Away wouldn't have gotten that liquor license till 30 days prior. So they don't have that yet. They were just going to get that when we called them a couple weeks ago before this happened. So, and I did get a call from the auditor, and they explained that because we had the Red Horse Bar originally, so they explained, and I think it was the auditor's office.
Yes, it was.
They explained that I needed to get a different bar.
Because you can't cross jurisdictional lines with licenses.
And that was something I told Kurt too that would be nice to know up front, just from my perspective, just going in the future for people that do have their receptions there. I think if they knew that, that would be helpful, because I found that out in February, I think. So we had it all set, and we hadn't paid the bar yet, thankfully. So I got a list of different bars. I think there were 10 to 12, and we went with Anchors Away because they had the city-issued liquor license, or county, excuse me. So that was something I wasn't aware of in the very beginning.
Sure. And you must have started working with them last July. Okay. Because he sent you an email about what needed to be done with the liquor and how the different options. Okay.
Yep.
So you're just saying it wasn't very clear?
No, I knew that the bar that we were getting would need to apply for the liquor license, but they don't need to do that till 30 days prior.
Who told you that?
I think I have an email from Kurt, actually. I could get that and forward to you.
I think the least amount of time is 30 days.
Right. The least amount of time is 30 days, yes.
Right, yeah.
And so when I spoke to Anchors Away, me and Brady met with them, I want to say 2 months ago, And Nancy Johnson was the manager, and she is now, she has given that role to Samantha Lobes, I guess is her name. And she was just going to apply for that license 2 weeks ago it was. So that would be within the 30-day.
No, not within, prior to 30
Prior to
days.
30 days,
Anytime
yeah.
prior to the 30 days. Yeah.
Yep, so we don't have anything signed with the liquor, so. Mhm. Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of not the point of what happened last week, you know. Whether we have a dry wedding or a wedding with alcohol, it was the fact that we didn't know there was a race scheduled on the night of our wedding 100 feet from the building that we were having it in.
Well, and I kind of wondered if part of the issue of not having it on the schedule was the fact that it hasn't been approved by the commission yet. I mean, there is no lease right now because we didn't have the things in order. Kurt's signature's on it, but until it comes to the commission, it's not a binding document, so to speak. But I don't know if that was waiting, like you said, for the rest of the
insurance,
documentation.
because we don't bring anything in until we have the proof of insurance.
And I know I sent my insurance in. I sent our homeowner's insurance. I'll have to go through my emails, but I did send a copy of that. And that would have been probably January or February that I got that. I even have the email from my insurance agent still, so I can forward that also. But
Did anybody else have questions on? Well, we've got a voucher prepared. I mean, definitely given the $350 that you had to reserve the spot, but I'm assuming, are you guys wanting more than that? What do you think would be fair? I mean,
the shrine in itself is $750 for the rental. The cleaning crew, we would need to get an estimate on that. Losing the shuttle was a really big
The
thing.
second mailing.
We've had to do a mailing
Yeah, we
to
have to send out postcards.
make guests
and-
aware that it's a different location.
And that was $225 for the mailing and $120 for the stamps. What else is there?
I guess it kind of puts us in a predicament because we're, we try to keep some of these buildings open for public use. We kind of view them as the taxpayers' buildings, and it's unfortunate this whole event, that things got double booked, but everybody's human and makes these errors, and unfortunately I guess my feeling is, I feel for you, and I am sorry that this happened, but to give you more than what was the $350 that's set aside, I guess I would have problems doing that. I'm glad you guys were able to find something else. I don't know what anybody else's thoughts were. If we had a signed lease and we were definitely on the, on the wrong end.
And so who would have needed to give you the signed lease?
I would have had to sign it, or Dwayne when he was commission chair. It would have come through this body. We would have made a motion and seconded it, and we would have signed the document.
And
But
so-
because we didn't have home proof of insurance and because we didn't have the liquor license and all that set up, that's why it didn't come before us. And unfortunately, with some miscommunication here, you thought it had to be 30 days. Well, it's a minimum of 30 days.
Well, no, I knew it was the minimum of 30
Okay.
days. That's right. But we were in our minimum of 30 days. They were working on it, and I could probably have you contact Sam if you needed.
That probably doesn't make any difference now, but
So would it have been Kurt's job to get you that signed, for you guys to sign it, or is that my job?
He usually gets it to us when he has everything, doesn't he?
No, usually the individuals send it to us, and we just...
The auditor's office?
We contact you and tell you what we need, and then once we get it, then we bring it into the commission.
Okay. And see, I think I had sent my insurance to him, not you guys. So that was something I wasn't aware of, or if he told me I had sent it to him. So.
Lots of the commissioners. Questions?
Bad deal.
It's an unfortunate situation. The problem we run into is a lot of times the race schedule doesn't come out until sometime in January for the upcoming year, and we clearly have a lack of communication. The race schedule probably needs to get to Kurt so that he is aware of the full schedule for the summer and what special events might be going on, because I think this is a special race that wouldn't normally fall on the Friday night that you would expect it to. So
This is
kind of-
Saturday night, right?
Right. So it just kind of slipped through the cracks, and just the wrong people were not made aware.
And we understand it was a mistake, and I make mistakes, we all do, but this is kind of one of those things where it's not just a dinner, and it is my wedding that I have had planned since I was little, and you want it to go the way you want it to go, and we spent a lot of money, and the fact that I'm glad we found out, and we didn't show up there, and there were races going on. But I've loved the fair ever since I was a little girl, so that's kind of why we wanted to do it out there. It is unfortunate.
And I think and I understand not wanting to decorate two venues, but hopefully he had offered our services as far as both the Richmond Youth Camp and Expo, if you needed tents, chairs, things like that. I mean, the county could help compensate in that way. I don't know if your current location has all those things, if there's anything we could aid there, but I guess my issue is just the monetary, taking tax dollars and giving them to, and I understand it was enough fault on this side, but to pay money out for that purpose. But if there was chairs or tables or something of that nature that we could help with, I would be more than willing to support.
We actually booked we have a non-refundable, our chairs are with Wise Metal, and we already paid for them.
Okay.
So.
Any other questions or comments?
Well, unfortunately, again, we don't have a signed contract. I mean, it hasn't been approved by the commission yet. I mean, it's just an unfortunate set of circumstances, but I would make a motion to approve the return of the initial deposit of $350.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
Seconded. Motion by Sutton, seconded by Fishback. Any other discussion? Well, if there's any way you could get out of that and we could provide some chairs or something like that, come talk to us, or, like I said, it's just kind of the cutting a check for it. And once again, I am sorry for the whole situation, and we will work to make sure that this doesn't happen for anybody else getting that.
I would have a suggestion, try to streamline the process a little bit so people know what needs to be turned in when.
Sure.
Yes, I guess I thought the liquor licensing was kind of up to the bar to get in, as long as it was within their 30-day. I didn't, that was something I don't really have control over.
Sure. And unless you do it how often, you don't really think about some of that stuff. So. Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And sorry again, and best wishes to you guys.
We apologize for the
Great
situation.
event.
These are the keys to the expo. They gave us the keys.
To go look.
I don't know
Sure.
if you guys want them or.
Yeah, we can get them back to them. That'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
A voucher will be where then?
Great. With auditors.
And the correct address is 722 18th Avenue. If you want to wait just a minute, we can get it right now.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, guys. All right, that brings us to 9:20. Dirk Rogers, Highway Superintendent, resolution to vacate right-of-way at the intersection of County 16 and County 5.
Hi.
Morning, Mr.
Good
Rogers.
morning.
Morning, Dirk.
I brought up a copy, the copy I had. I didn't know if you guys, do you have a copy of this?
Yep, there was one in the packet, I believe.
Okay. I just didn't know. I just wanted to bring it up and get it posted on the agenda properly and offer you guys if you had any comment. I don't have any to offer. Like I said, it's done. The work's done. We got the dirt that we needed off of it, and based on the email I got from Dana, they found the end result acceptable. So I just want to go through the process of taking it off our right away, I guess.
Give me 1 second. Our order stuff got shifted.
This is, nope, that's Claremont.
Where's the Color Road at? Can't think where that's at. That's mentioned.
It's out on 8th Avenue going.
Oh, okay.
That,
Yeah,
we're
Burl used to
and
live.
that development there, two houses,
That's
whatever
it.
it is.
Yep.
Who's the landowner up there?
It's the Frolings.
Okay.
It's the uncle of Dana. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Like I said, we were going to do this anyway. This just sort of kind of shoved us forward a little bit. And we got to use the dirt for what I was going to use it for anyway, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion by Sutton, is there a second? Second by Feldheim, any discussion? It's going around right now.
Yeah, I looked at it, it's pretty straightforward.
That's at .8 acres or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yep.
So rights of way, just for conversation, those are already, Frollings would be paying the tax on them already? Or will their taxes go up when it goes back to
It'll get
them?
added to theirs, yep. It depends on, and Larry probably knows more than me because I'm a little out of practice, but I mean, it's different if it was a railroad right away. There isn't a hard and fast rule for the revision of the land. Sometimes it goes to to the adjacent landowner, and sometimes it goes to whoever it came from or their heirs. And in this case, most of the road right-of-ways and ones that are adjacent to the existing statutory right-of-way, those are a little more cut and dried. It seems when you get into some of the railroad stuff, sometimes the ownership gets kind of funky.
Sure.
And then sometimes the railroad sold just the right-of-way, some piece that's 100 foot wide for 6 miles to one person, you know. So then you've got that divides up a whole bunch of land and stuff like that. So.
Gotcha. All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Anything else for us this morning?
Not for me.
All right. Well,
You
thank
guys don't have anything?
Like moving?
I haven't been over there to see the absolute finished product yet, but it should be nice.
It
Should
is.
be nice. We're paving into,
You gonna chip seal it yet, or not?
No, won't this
You
year.
gonna paint it, or?
we'll paint it.
Yeah.
Yep. It'll be a little while, but we'll paint it.
One gripe from down there, I want you to grind it up.
And we're paving up at Barnard today. I ended up, we're gonna put you asked me about the thickness, we're putting 2.5-inch lifts in there. And we're not gonna do the intersection right now, we're actually just gonna do the road coming in there. And then we're gonna go chip seal for a couple weeks, and then we'll go back up there and do the intersection. So it's, because we got a pave coming through town and pave coming into town, and then the intersection's a little snaky, but that's going to be a learning process for us. Bridge ends and intersections. If we can just sit down and go straight, we're pretty good, but anything other than that, we have to kind of take a step back and think our way through it. So, but it'll be nice when we're done. So.
Are they done with the railroad tracks on 8th and Roosevelt?
It was open today.
Yeah, they opened it late yesterday. I just didn't know if they were doing more today.
I thought they were gonna, but they weren't. It wasn't closed just now when I came through. But boy, that was kind of fun yesterday watching when
people turn around.
Yeah. Yep.
They didn't believe that road closed ahead time.
No, they never do. You know, and even in that case, you can see that there's about 15 barricades down there for 2 miles away. But no, they go down and come back, go down and come back.
What gives the railroad the right to stop in the middle of an intersection and fuel up their engine?
They're the railroad.
Couldn't they back it up off the hose from the gas truck? Reach it yet?
I don't know.
Cost me about 5 miles and 15 minutes the other day. I think that was Sunday morning, actually.
Really? No, they were either here first or they're bigger. You know, it depends on which piece you want to.
They're their own government. So they have their own retirement system.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't tell them what to do you?
No.
Sounds good. Well, thank you much.
That was easy.
It was.
Next on the agenda, we got Paul Stevenson, CIO, IT update. Paul, are you with us? Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Paul.
I just got a couple quick things this morning. Sundown, we're moving along. On the 3rd, we're going to bring a bunch in according to the new policy set, but I'd like to hold back highway, landfill, maintenance, and fairgrounds. Just because they are a little bit different, it'll just make the training a lot easier if we can hold them back pay period and get this group going and get through a pay period and then move that group in, because they're so diversified in those departments as far as people in and out of the shops and such. So if that's okay with you, I think we'll just make that little adjustment.
Fine here, so to go back those 4 departments back a pay period?
Yeah, back
for the
pay
requirement?
period. It'll just be easier all around because the rest of them are all pretty close to the same. So the training and support will all be kind of across the board, and then we'll hit that last group, pay period later.
Any issues or questions on that?
Makes sense to me.
Do we need a motion on that, or just
I don't think so. I think
verbal?
it's a policy thing, so
Sounds
as
good.
long as you guys are in agreement.
Sounds
I
good.
guess, The other thing is, the next 6 weeks we're going to be running crazy, and I know we're supposed to inform you when we're going to start looking at putting in some overtime, and I think between the jail project and all the networking we have to do at the fairgrounds, next 6 weeks we're going to probably work some Saturdays and a little bit longer hours, so I just wanted to bring that up and make sure we're okay on that.
Are we doing something with the new campgrounds, or what are we all doing out of the
Campground, we're adding network to all the barns. They've moved their livestock program to a computer-based, so they're going to use our thin client, so we got to get network cable to all the livestock barns, and then with the campgrounds not having internet this year, we're going to try to get some wireless up to cover the fair. It might not be perfect this year, and we'll probably take the basis and grow on it next year once we kind of see the coverage and what we need to do. And also we're getting our network all the way out to the Horse Arena, which is way up on the north edge. So it's plenty to do with the jail project. It's going to get kind of overwhelming, but so I don't expect ungodly amounts of overtime, but there will be some, and I just wanted to let you know that, just so I think that was kind of, we were supposed to let you know in advance if we could, so.
And how is the new intern working out?
Good. She's really been good on the training and the support on the sundial so far, and she's working with one of the other guys on the state's changing the teletype machines July 1st, so they're doing all those updates today, so she's doing quite well. I think she was in part of we do have the state's attorney running hard on the document management program, so they're scanning a bunch of old cases, and then this week we'll start on the commission page and get that up so you guys can get into the things you want to. Then we'll probably be ready to go back and look at the vouchers again and go forward with that.
Good.
So other than that, just those few minor things.
Okay. Any questions for Paul?
Jail project's going on schedule and everything's going good for you there?
I think we're actually looking pretty good now. I think the painters are coming in this week, as a matter of fact. I know the flooring guys are scheduled for the 10th of July, and that'll be kind of the week with not much work going on other than that. But
Is there any IT involved in this ramp that's going to hold up that project?
just when we put cameras and door locks in there, but we can do that. That's not a problem. Let the other trays get out of there and we'll get that put in.
I hope it's not too cold by then.
We got heavy coats and gloves. We'll be all right. Yeah, it looks like it's making progress now, so.
Really?
All right, any other questions on IT?
Did you want to mention the proposed policy change for C11?
Oh, yeah. We have, with all the amount of interns and other things we've got going on, we are starting to see a lot of personal devices trying to get on our network, which is not, we've got enough to secure with county-owned stuff. We don't need personal stuff trying to hook to our printers and get into our things. So I sat with Gary and we kind of revised the policy to kind of address that.
We all got emailed that.
Yeah, it seems like if we don't spell it out word for word, they find a way around it. So, but it's mainly security, and we just don't want to maintain personal devices. It's just too much work to try to keep track of everybody's little things.
Do we have to have a motion to amend the policy?
Yes.
I'd move that.
Why don't you wait until it's drafted?
It's already done.
Oh, it's done. Oh, sorry.
I read it the other day.
It made sense, didn't it?
Yeah,
I'll second it.
You start putting viruses out there from all different systems, and you're going to have a mess.
We just have too much data to protect to take those chances.
Yeah. Okay, I think we had a motion by Feldheim, second by Sutton. Any other questions or discussion? Did you get a copy on email, Tom?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Motion carries.
Can I get a copy of it eventually?
You can have it right there.
Okay, thanks.
Yep,
Guess that's all I have, unless you have something for me.
plugging away.
Thanks,
Sounds
Paul.
great.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Paul.
Paul?
Paul.
All right, so 2 minutes before the next thing, let's go to some of Maxine's.
Spell check.
Got lease agreements.
I'll send you the spell check for
Okay, so it will be tablets.
That was corrected, or
Oh, it
I
was?
corrected it already. I'll send you an email with the correction.
Okay,
The
okay.
et cetera. Yeah.
Okay, should we just start at the top?
Sounds great.
Okay, we did the plats, but you need to set the hearing for the Hoffman rezone. And that's just so we can authorize, do the advertising.
Moved by Fishback,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Then we need to set a hearing for this petition to vacate right-of-way for Cutler. That's actually a joint resolution with the city. We'll be meeting jointly on that. It should have been a separate line item.
Is that
on
up there by Roosevelt, is that right?
No, out on 8th Avenue and 14, just east of that.
Okay.
Earl lives up there.
Yeah,
They're married
okay,
now.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. So need a motion on that.
I'll move it.
Moved by Sutton.
Second.
Seconded by Fishback. Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, this is more info. The James River Valley Commission District meeting. We need to set the date and place and the speaker. Who's going to coordinate all that? Gary or Vi or?
Is that usually July?
Usually July.
And we're hosting?
We're hosting.
July 20th.
July 20th?
We're leaving July.
Don't we leave on the 21st,
We
Gary?
leave on the 21st, correct. You're right. Yep, July 20th.
Maybe we should back it up to 13th then, or 14th,
Is it usually a Wednesday?
Thursday?
It's always been Thursdays,
Thursdays,
but,
Was it Thursday? Oh, I was thinking it was Wednesday, sorry.
well, Beetle County has been meeting on like Thursday rather than Tuesdays, so.
Really?
So maybe your Wednesday would be best?
The way this weather is, I think we should meet in somewhere inside. We talked, we did
Chance of getting
Centennial
rained on?
Village- We did Centennial Village a couple times. No, yeah, I'm not worried about the rain. Worried about that 95-degree sun. I don't like it.
Last couple of times we've had it at Pizza Ranch.
Yeah.
It seems to work
okay.
well if it's available. Does the 20th work? Or do you want to move it back to the 13th?
20th's fine with me, I don't care.
We'll have to see if
20th?
Pizza Ranch is
20th 's fine with me.
available.
Shoot for the 20th, Pizza Ranch, and I'll see what I can find out. Gary, will you help me with speakers and
Sure.
agenda and that? Yeah.
You bet.
Okay, you wanna-
Try for Trump first.
Okay.
Then work our way up.
What time is the next one? I've lost my.
We got 1 minute.
35.
The lease agreements, there's the 4-H rodeo, and Corco is in the process of sending a corrected insurance policy with the accurate dates. They were off a day.
Oh,
And there was also personal property for Freedom Church, and then the Watertown Humane Services Agency, there's an agreement for the youth camp.
Okay, so approve 3 of them with the one with the stipulation we get the right dates?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a motion? Moved by Feldheim.
Second.
Seconded by Fishback. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And it's probably sitting on the fax over there right now, so I think it's here. There were lottery applications, BMX, split pot at the Drunkard Speedway, and Aberdeen cheer group for split pot at the races.
I'll move them. Oh,
Okay.
second.
I've
Moved by
got the dates too.
Fishback, seconded by Sutton. Questions on the lottery applications? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There was an abatement.
Move. Second.
Moved by Feldheim, seconded by Sutton. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Need to approve and authorize the chair to sign the mosquito grant contract.
Move it.
Moved by Fishbeck,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The SLA, that's the state and local agreement with the state for emergency management. They pay 50% of his salary and other cost share items.
Moved by Feldheim,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. That brings us up to 9:35. Let's discuss consideration of alcohol sales at the fair. I think there's a couple folks here that Derek?
Yep.
Anyone else?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. We are to the final regular agenda item here, consideration of alcohol sales at the fair. I imagine the commissioners had a few contacts this week, pro and con, and did you guys have any new information to share?
Well, we did. There's, I'll pass out a map to you guys here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's an alternate proposal that was recommended or asked if we would consider, and that was to would we offer it on the opposite side, on the west side, connecting the beer garden essentially with the grandstand. And then one of the security concerns would be that the beer garden folks already have a security force. There's pros and cons to that. A couple of things to consider is the logistical impact. Historically, the delivery trucks have come up that back road, as well as the sheriffs also have their cars stationed there for ingress and egress for quickly being able to enter and exit. The other challenge would be currently right at that corner at the southwest where the 100 feet sections meet. Typically that's where our ticket booth has been, or the ticket entry point has been in the past. We would have to relocate that to about where the 100-foot is on the east side. The challenge with that is the double gates that we would have to move that ticket booth to. There's the staircase for the grandstand that comes down right there. So, and the reason that we would have to relocate that is we would have to be able to have a way to control people that are coming eastward. Do they have a ticket or don't they? So there is an alternate proposal on the table, but it offers, I think, a few more logistical challenges than we have than having it in the east. So that's one option. We did check with all of the larger fairs, and all of them offer some form of whiskey sales during the rodeo. 2 of them offer alcohol sales throughout the entire week, and there's varying degrees of being fully open in the grandstand versus in a controlled area. So they do all offer it, but they have different ways in terms of how they control it.
Any questions from the
That's
commissioners?
the new information that was projected over the week.
Are there logistical, I mean, do we have to know which spot we're going to, if we were to choose to do this, do we need to know today when we vote where we're having it so that the legal identification?
It would depend on the legal identifier. So I would say I would probably defer to Larry and the sheriff on that one, if we would need to identify the exact location now or if that can be done at a future meeting.
Are you granting the liquor license today?
Probably not.
Do we have an application for that?
No, I don't think so.
And so that's where
At
you'd
that
specify
point.
the licensed premises.
Okay, is there any questions from the commissioners? Anybody else here to speak on behalf of this, pro or con?
Can you remind us again who would be the license holder?
The license holder would have to be the fair board, because the county can't grant itself a conditional license, but you can, under statute, issue it to a civic organization, which civic, charitable, educational, fraternal, which does not have to have the designation of a 501c3 or c5. And per Marnie at the Department of Revenue, the fair board would qualify under the civic organization portion of that. There's the documentation that would go along with that, if you decided to do that. And it would be under subsection 3. Nope.
So then you, as the railroad, would have to be required to carry the liability insurance then?
Yes, and that would come at an additional cost. There's two providers that we've done the research on. One provider came back at $12.38, one came back at $14.75, but there was no discernible differences in the coverages. They covered exactly the same, it was just two different carriers. But there are a limited number of carriers that do even cover an event insurance like this, so we're kind of limited in terms of who we can look at.
So is the beer garden in operation during this time?
Is it? Yes, it's currently in operation under the license holder for the, but,
I mean,
but only as a
during,
malt.
yeah, during the nights that you want to use that area around it for sale of liquor, it's in operation also.
Yes, that was a separate proposal that was put forward by a different organization. I think the area on the east creates the least number of logistical liability and restrictive challenges. I think when we move it to the west, that grows substantially because we now also have to figure out how we fence in that 190-foot section from the edge of the clubhouse, because there's two different concerns. The one concern is whiskey, and the other concern is the rodeo attendee. So we have to make sure that if we moved it to the west, everybody that comes to the east to get into the grandstand has a ticket. So we have to have that stopgap there. And then we also have to have a banding stopgap to make sure that the people who are going east to west are banded and carted again at a second point to make sure that they didn't get carted at one part, but then now they're coming into another area. Where here, there's only one egress and one ingress on either side of that restroom. And there's a gate that's already right there that is manned by 3 Fair Board members. So we could actually have one of those 3 be in control of that one gate going in and out, where over here we have to add anywhere from 2 to 4 more people. And the liability line is going to get a little bit more blurred if we do it over here too as well, because now, are they going to be allowed to drink beer outside as well? Is that where do we get the crossover? We're here in an isolated area. There's only one option. So
Can they now drink?
currently, no.
They can't bring beer out that east door.
That east door. No. The door's been closed historically.
Yeah, the licensed premises would be within the beer garden itself.
Yeah.
And here, the licensed premises for the liquor would be anything in that area outside the beer garden.
That is a potential suggestion.
If you went to the west.
If we went to the west, yeah. Yeah.
Questions?
Well, I said last week I didn't like it, and calls I've got, and I still don't like it. I'm not against drinking. There's a bar in this county where everybody knows my name, so I'm not against alcohol. But I think for the Brown County Fair, we're going a little bit too far. It's my opinion.
Yes.
The one thing that I would like to interject would be, I talked to some of our managers out in Rapid City. They have 4 or 5 rodeos out there a year. They've made this transition in every rodeo and now have it accessible on the grounds. So the one thing in talking to them is the rodeo crowd is a different crowd. First of all, it's a cowboy based. They respect the rodeo, they respect their families, and they respect the whiskey. That is one thing. It's not a concert crowd. And again, for me, I'm not, whether it happens or not, it's no skin off of my back, but just to hear what the other cities are going through and the rodeos are going through, this is something that has evolved. So, I mean, that's the one thing I would like to interject. It's not, you're not looking at the same crowd between the concert crowd and your rodeo crowd. So,
but and that's the thing is, and I respect that, but this is not just a rodeo. This is mom and pops. This is kids doing cookies. So you can't compare the two. There's a rodeo during the county fair, where in Rapid City it's a rodeo, pure and simple. There's no county fair associated with it. And you have to understand, our concern purely is public safety, but how much is enough alcohol to have on the grounds? I mean, we already have 3 really busy sites, and now we're adding a whole nother level of alcohol. And it's just purely on that law enforcement is just like, how much is enough? Now, that's your guys' decision. And Derek and I have already talked, and we'll make plans to do the best we can, but how much is enough? And I guess whatever calls you get, you'll have to lead that way, but I guess on those grounds, we just as soon not see it come in.
So we're all talking the same thing. Monday, Tuesday, rodeo starts at 7.
7, yep.
So doors to this would open at 6.
About 6:30, yeah.
6:30, and it would shut off as soon as the rodeo is done, which is right. You
Yes.
can't stay open.
You can't stay open beyond that. Once the rodeo is done, it's shut down at that
Roughly
point.
10ish. I mean, I know it's hard to.
Anywhere between 9:30 and 10, yeah.
9:30 and 10.
Anywhere between 9:30 and 10.
So we're talking 3.5 hours on a Monday night, 3.5 hours on a Tuesday night.
And this is not designed to be a free-for-all. This is designed to be a controlled environment where you can sample 2 or 3, and then if you want to switch to beer, you can switch to beer. But one of the challenges that I see,
not there.
But not there.
This
Right.
is just whiskey.
This
there.
is just whiskey in this area. But if let's say we run out by 8, because we don't know what we don't know yet, so it doesn't make sense to stack for 50 to 60% utilization. We're probably going to stock for 25 to 30. We're going to split the middle and see where we go. We could end up with a bunch left over. We could end up selling out in 2 hours. We just don't know what we don't know at this point. But there's no real limitation currently on some of the other alcohol that's being sold. So the reasonable limitation of 2 to 3, I thought, was something that could be a compromise. So I don't see this evolving into the concerts, and I'll be candid with that, and I would say that now or in 10 years, because I don't know that we have the infrastructure with the logistics down to be able to handle that. That is a much different animal. So if some of the concerns are this could extend into the concert side of it, we're just not there yet. And I don't think we'll be there for at least 5 to 7 years.
I think that would be scary.
Yeah. Now you're basically doubling the pool of people, and you're also dropping the average age of a person who might partake in it. So now you start adding a lot more variables at that point. So that's why this is strictly just going to be for the rodeo for the foreseeable future.
And they enter, they're checked, and before they leave that area, they cannot carry it out.
They cannot carry it out. There's
That
only
would be manned by
it'll be manned by Fair Board members or appropriate volunteers, but you cannot leave with a cup. Period. It's similar to what we do at the end of the night when people are coming out with beer. It's either you have to drink it here or dump it. You can't take it out with you.
And I can respect where people are coming from that think there's a difference between beer and alcohol, but we got to realize this isn't the first time alcohol's been at our fair. 2 years ago, we had a fundraiser in the Kessler's tent, bourbon and boots for Spurs, and so it's not like this is the very first time. And I know this is a little bit different, but
Hey, Rachel?
yes,
Can I speak?
please. Stu Swenson, a member of the Fair Board.
We're supporting the east side of this for the Pendleton Corral so much. The west side is an option, but it's not a very good option because all of the chutes and all the corrals for the animals are set up on the west side there, and the semis are there. And they'll halfway through the performance, they will change the stock out, so the semis will be moving. We don't really like to have a lot of people on the west side there at all because of all the commotion that's going on.
Was there anything else missing in our discussions that you guys discussed at the Fair Board meetings, that pros or cons or either way? I appreciate you two being here, by the way.
The only thing I'd have, we're just asking for a 1-year trial on it, It's not like we're locking it in for 5 years. So, it'd be a 1-year deal and evaluate it at that point, If it goes over well, it'd probably come back. But if we see that there were some things that don't work for our fair, we'll just drop it the following year. But, it's just, until you try it, I think Derek on the east side has got it laid out very well. Sometimes I wish our beer sales would be as controlled as what we're looking to do this here. And under the grandstand, we sell 10 beers to one person. We have no clue where those beers are going. The whiskey, we know who's going to consume the whiskey. It's the person that's been ID'd and is in there.
Any other questions or comments?
I'm in my 7.5 years as commissioner, and I have not been notified by John Q. Public more on any other issue than I have on this one. And I'm like Tom. I don't drink beer. I drink whiskey, so I'm a whiskey fan. But I've been approached and contacted by more people on this issue than any other issue that I've ever dealt with. And the feeling is that we have a family event, it's a family affair, and keep the whiskey out of it. So that's the sentiments of the people who have contacted me. Those in favor of it haven't contacted me. So, but it's far and away, people are not in favor of it. So.
Any other questions, comments?
Candidly, more people are going to speak out in a negative than in a positive. So if the benchmark that we're going to use is public contact, could I request a 1-week recess so we could have the supporters also contact now that they know that could be a potential option for them?
Is anyone opposed to that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Taking it up in a week?
We don't make a motion, nothing's done.
Yep.
Okay. We will put this on the agenda in 1 week.
Fair enough. I appreciate the time, and thanks for all the info.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week. That brings us to the end of our regular agenda. Did you have a few other things, Maxine?
Yes. Change order number 2 for the Market Street entrance. There was a new cost, but there was a deduct on something else, so the net is $515.
Did everybody get the chance to see that 513 increase on Market Street?
Yep, I'll move it.
Moved by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Fishback. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Gary, did you have something for us?
You had all received a submission memo from a person that runs a youth center program for gifted kids, requesting they were researching basically the Homeland Security Department stuff, and they noticed our link on the EM page and things, and they just made a request if we'd attach another link of the Homeland Security Department page, which we certainly don't have any issues with, but if that's something you would like to do, if the kids see it on our site, I guess they're promised a pizza party or something if it goes out there, but they just made a request if we'd like to put that link out on our page.
And you checked out the cctvcameraworld.com.
That's what that is that you're looking at.
Right,
that's,
but
that's the page.
It's not anything, I mean,
no,
is that a what kind of organization?
Right there. That's what comes up. Just basically provides a bunch of other links to Homeland Security sites.
Is there a problem with doing that?
There's nothing controversial or anything on there that I see. It's just informational.
Who put that out? Homeland Security?
Homeland Security, yeah.
Does anybody have an issue with that?
Government does it, it must be good.
Yeah, right.
As long as the sites are secured, I don't have any problem.
And Paul will certainly check that out before.
Is that a motion?
And we're sure it's a Homeland Security site, correct?
That's why I was asking what that camera world is. Is that?
That's what comes up when you click on it.
Well, but I mean, there's fake sites out there, and then the links could take you someplace you shouldn't
And
go.
Paul will certainly check that all out if you want.
Can we let Paul do that first, and then approve it if he
You
says
bet.
it's legitimate and it is truly Homeland Security?
Definitely.
Then we can approve it.
So we'll wait on that then? Or do you want to?
I think so.
Okay.
All right, and then I just need a quick exec for personnel.
Okay.
Move it.
Moved by Fishback. Is there a second?
Could we add
By
legal to that
Feldman?
too?
Second.
Yes.
Add legal to it.
Seconded by Sutton. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed nay. Motion carries for legal and personnel. We'll go into exec.
Yeah, I wanted to be on that jury.
Okay, we're back in session. We did have a couple things. Wayne, are you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I don't have an effective date, but I'll make a...
June 8th.
June 8th, was it? Okay.
Mentioned last week.
I'll make a motion that effective June 8th, we terminate the employment of Kathy Thompson,
Is there a second?
Second.
Highway Department employee.
Okay. Second. Motion by Sutton, seconded by Feldheim. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
I would motion that we advertise for labor grade 3 for the highway department.
Second.
Seconded by Fishback, motion by Feldheim. Is there any discussion on that one? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And that was it for midday.
I would like to make a motion that we have Gary draft a policy whereby we receive weekly HR reports or updates to include whatever pertinent HR
New
information.
employees, terminations, all that
Just
stuff.
a weekly update that we can be briefed on.
Sounds good. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion by Sutton, seconded by Feldheim. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, Gary draft policy for weekly
HR update.
HR updates.
It might
Briefing.
not necessarily be weekly, whenever there's actions to be taken.
Okay, regular, I'll rephrase that to say regular,
Regular HR
as
updates.
necessary.
From
Accept resignation here too, right?
HR department? Or?
From the HR department,
Oh, okay.
correct. Yeah,
Okay.
HR updates.
Okay.
All right, and then we voted on that, right? Maybe not. You had your
It's Sutton, Feldheim.
Okay. And I believe we did, but all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. I'd also, if anybody's got wants to make the motion to accept the formal resignation of Brown County Human Resource Assistant Andrea, we're gonna miss her. She's done.
I would reluctantly make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Feldheim, seconded by Fishback. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And I believe you're currently taking applications, and those are due by
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow at 5 p.m.
So you don't
tomorrow,
need
if there's anybody
to
interested.
approve request to fill vacancy?
Can we add that to the motion?
I'll amend the motion to
Amend.
advertise for fill the vacancy.
Put it all together there. Okay, anything else from the commissioners? Tomorrow, no, wouldn't. June 30th, just a reminder, we have that US 12 corridor from Aberdeen to Ipswich meeting. It's at the Ipswich High School. It's from 5:30 to 7. Anything else going on this week? Next week is department head quarterly meeting after this meeting. Other than that,
ECOG is Wednesday night.
This was
last night.
Needs a 4th of July's on a Monday, don't we get Tuesday off?
Nope.
So it usually works, isn't it?
This is July 12,
Right.
and this is the one Rachel just talked about.
Okay. Yeah. And then last week, Thursday, we did go down to that meeting in Huron. The sheriff and the head of the JDC and I, all 8 of the JDCs East River were represented there, just kind of trying to brainstorm some ideas as far as how to make our budgets work. Everybody's running into the same problem. A lot of JDCs, but not a lot of kids, and what we need to do on that. So
Talked to Cindy Heiberger. She said she thought the meeting was very, very productive. So
it was good, and I think they're going to hold another one later this summer. One of the things I took away from it, I didn't realize how many of the JDCs East River have joint staffs, which is kind of frowned on from the Department of Corrections
Oh, with
standpoint.
adult staff and the
Yeah,
JDC
so if they
staff.
don't have anybody in JDC, they roll them over to their jail, which is, to me, I was like, oh, that kind of
We
makes
used to
sense.
do that.
But then the Department of Corrections gals that were there, they were like, no, that's frowned on. So anyway, I'll keep you posted if we learn anything new. Anything else?
it's frowned on, but it's still a matter of economics.
Exactly.
It's good use
Yep.
of personnel.
Do what you got to do, right? Anything from the folks in attendance today? All right, well, thanks for being here, and I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Fishback, seconded by Sutton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We're adjourned.